Hello.
Hello, nice to see you. Can you all hear us well?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear me. This is actually the first time I do a shared Facebook Live. So Andrew is the first to do that with me, and I am so pleased. Let me enter. I see people are coming in. We are having lots of hearts and likes coming here already. Fantastic people have been really excited about the special guest I'm bringing in. So Andrew Stewart is a very dear friend of mine. We have been friends for years. And he has for 30 years ago, he used a technique that turned his life around. And ever since, he has been so interested in everything to do with this therapy and this technique. For over 25 years, right, you have been a therapist. You're helping people with back injuries and sport injuries and so on. So he is not new in the field when it comes to that. I know he knows so much about the essential oil as well and use that as a therapeutic. But in the last couple of years, Andrew went and increased his education even further. He lives up in Scotland. I am here on the south coast of the UK. But he went and got his further education, what we are going to be talking about today, all the way to Australia. So he was flying back and forth to Australia for his education. So today he is NLP, hypnotherapy, and timeline therapy master coach. And he helps people, especially with getting rid of bad old habits. And for example, he helps people stop smoking, people with anxiety and depression. And many of his clients are dealing with weight issues. So that can be by either too little weight or too much weight. And he helps them to get to their ideal weight using this amazing technique that we will be talking about here today. So, and I thought, because I was, when I asked Andrew to do this with me, he was like, what is people mostly struggling with? And I was telling him that many of you have been with me for years and years on every cleanse. And so often people are, do so fantastic on the cleanse, and then maybe few weeks, months later, there's a birthday party, or there's, some gathering, and people, okay, oh, I just fell, I just, had this cake, and then I was just, felt like a failure. So I just keep taking the hole deeper and deeper and deeper ever since. And then when I promote my next cleanse, people, oh, I'm so glad now I can get back on track. So I'm hoping Andrew will be able to help all of us not to dig this hole in between, and help us to stay focused. And many of you will be having different habits that you might want to get rid of, so and improve. So he is here to help us. So Andrew, can you explain this a little bit further? Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me live here today.
An absolute pleasure, Alpha. I think it's a bit like driving a car, and I always try and explain the difference between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. Often you'll find yourself going down the motorway and you'll maybe be 20 miles away, but you've arrived at your destination. Well, yeah. How did you do that? You weren't consciously aware of changing the gears or indicating or the car on your right. You're aware of all of these things, but they're all unconsciously, because it's programmed in, just like you said. So habits are just the same, Alpha, that the conscious awareness of things you do is only a very small percentage. A lot of what we do is actually just automatic, and that's one of the things that are laid down in those first 7 years. And it's funny, because talking about grandparents, my grandmother used to say to me often that "Þú getur ekki kennt gamlum hundi að sitja." And
oh, my Icelandic friends, did you get that? Oh, I love that. Oh, yeah, þú getur ekki kennt gömlum hundi að sitja. Goodness me, Andrew, well done.
So what I'm trying to say there, and she didn't say it in Icelandic, she basically said that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Yeah. And to an extent, that refers to habits. It doesn't affect your brain, because your brain can learn something new. So when we say that an 80-year-old can't change, that's not true. It's their habits that they're not necessarily consciously going to change, but what they can do is unconsciously or subconsciously change them. And we all have that ability to rewire the neurons in our brain to change patterns and habits. Alpha, that's definitely something we can do.